Renowned as one of the best bass fishing lakes in the world, Lake Toho spans 42 miles in diameter. On its northern shore is Kissimmee, Florida, where the lake is known simply as Lake Toho by the locals. This expansive body of water has two different personalities. To experience each for yourself, here's our recommendation on how to spend a day off the beaten path in Kissimmee. We set out early on a peaceful fishing and sightseeing ride on the north end of Lake Toho. There's no better way to experience it than with a couple of locals. Captain Mike and Captain Rick of Fishing Charters Incorporated shared their knowledge of fishing with us.
Most of the fishing here is bass fishing. That's the most common fish caught. There's crappie here, there's mudfish here, of course there's catfish, there's brim. But the big draw here is the bass.
So what you want to do if you want to go out and catch fish, you got to find a guide that goes out. That's all we do. We make sure our guests catch fish all the time. And so we use live bait, we use dynamite, whatever we can. No.
Captain Rick is big on taking family. We had a man from Colorado yesterday. His 14-year-old son and his 9-year-old daughter, she had a broke arm, and she caught an 8-pound bass. She caught the first fish and the biggest fish. So yeah, with kids, this is a great place for kids.
These two are full of stories, but I'm not sure how factual they are. Either way, they paint a very colorful picture of Lake Toho.
It's Big Lake Topekaliga. And a lot of people think that it means sleeping tiger. Well, it's a Seminole Indian word, and the Seminoles didn't know anything about tigers 200 years ago. We didn't have tigers here. So what it means is it means fort site, or like the site where you have a fort. Everybody just calls it Big Lake Toho because it's a lot easier to say.
After a morning of fishing, Captain Rick took us to a really unusual spot, Makinson Island. A truly old Florida-style site, Makinson Island has a great 2-mile hiking trail.
It's a county park open to the public. You can come out here and stay all day. And if you want to camp, you can come out and camp. And it's just the way it was, hundreds of years ago. I mean, it hasn't changed. So there's 200-year-old oak trees on this island. There's 200-year-old cypress trees. I mean, it's a beautiful island. But when the Makinson family had this island, they built a little cottage out there, Mr. Makinson did. Horse stables, barn. He planted fruit trees out there. He had some of his prize bulls and horses, and then they sold it to Mr. Dick Dickerman. He bought the island from him, and he decided to make it into like a petting zoo. Brought exotic animals out here, ostriches, emus, llama, bighorn sheep, and all the exotic animals are gone except for the bighorn sheep. He left them here. There's maybe 10 or 15 of them out there. They're just out there where sometimes we see them, sometimes we don't.
After a relaxing morning enjoying nature with our fishing guides, we needed to get our blood pumping. Boggy Creek airboat rides on the south side of Lake Toho provided just the right amount of adventure to top off our day.
My name is Captain Charlie, and we're here at Boggy Creek airboat rides on West Lake Toho in Kissimmee, Florida. Well, we've got all kinds of wildlife to see. Lots of birds, bald eagles, cranes, heron, and then of course you get to see some alligators quite often, plus an exciting airboat ride. This boat goes about 40 miles an hour, 35, 40 miles an hour. We take reservations on the night ride. The daytime rides, you just come up and it's kind of first come, and we'll get you out as soon as we can.
Well, seeing all the animals is going to be really fun. Me and my brother really like animals and that sort of stuff.
Well, if you happen to be in Kissimmee someday, come out and see us here at Boggy Creek on West Toho for an airboat ride.
We can definitely say our day on Lake Toho was filled with nature, heritage, and adventure at its finest. From becoming acquainted with Florida's wildlife and fantastic fishing to a high-speed gator safari, we enjoyed a day off the beaten path.